Happy New Year, everyone. In this video, I'm going to walk through the Secure Act 2.0 as it relates to small businesses, particularly those with 50 employees or less. The Secure Act 2.0 was large. It was a large bill. There were a lot of changes that were made effective this year, 2023, and in 2024. So what I've decided to do is kind of break this act up into different videos, and this video is focused on small businesses. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll reply to them. And Secure Act 2.0 as it relates to small businesses. Okay, so there's three changes I'm going to focus on. So 3 slides, and here's the first slide. Change number 1. Companies can now offer small incentives to their employees to sign up on the company's retirement account. So in years past, companies that have retirement accounts, they offer benefits and stuff to their employees. They can't incentivize their employees to kind of sign up. So the act says de minimus in terms of what the incentives can be. And usually what that means in terms of the IRS, it's like $25, $50. The IRS hasn't really defined this yet, and the act was pretty gray. So I would say, just kind of looking at other news articles, I'd say $25, $50 that you can tell your employees, hey, we'll give you a $50 Amazon gift card if you sign up to our retirement account. And the whole purpose of this is to encourage people that don't have retirement accounts to set one up. And typically companies have great retirement accounts. So that was the whole purpose of this change number 1. Change number 2 is a tax credit that's offered to small businesses that have 50 employees or less. And this existed before the Secure Act of 2.0, but there was one change that was made. And essentially what this credit is when you set up a new retirement account, there's a lot of administrative costs, there's education and costs that companies incur on setting these things up. And what the credit is it's calculated based on what those costs are, okay, to kind of set that up. And it's good for the first 3 years. And what the Secure Act 2.0 did was they increased the calculation from 50% to 100%. So the credit is the lesser of 100% of the costs or $5,000. So it used to be, 50% or $5,000. So just say you incurred, $2,500 your first year. Under the older rule, you can only deduct, $1,250. But under the new rule, you can deduct that $2,500. And it's not a deduction; it's actually a credit. So if you want to see the difference between a deduction and a credit, watch my video on that. So this was a nice little win here. And again, it's for the first 3 years. And then the last big change, which I think is a pretty big one here, again, effective 1/1/23, again, another tax credit. It impacts businesses up to 100 employees, but it really has a benefit to employers that have employees of 50 or less. And what the credit is $1,000 per employee that the company contributes to. So, and there's rates here, and there's one caveat. There's, I guess, 2 caveats here. If the company has more than 50 employees, the credit gets phased out. And any employee that earns over $100,000, kind of what their annual salary is, based on the prior year, they can't be included in this credit calculation. So just say an employer contributes $2,000 in year 1 to Rob's account, okay? The company is eligible to get $1,000 tax credit because it's capped at $1,000 per employee, even though they contributed $2,000, but it's capped at $1,000 per employee in this first year here. Now, just say we're in year 4 of this, right? And they contribute, let's say here, I don't know, like $3,000, right? So it's $3,000 of that. And so it's 50% of the $3,000. So that's $1,500, but they're still capped at $1,000 per employee. So again, it's credits are better than deductions, and what they're doing here, the purpose of this is they're encouraging employers to kind of make contributions to their employees' retirement accounts. So again, this is a real nice benefit, but you can see the kind of the phase out of these of what the credit is, how it's calculated. So if you contribute $1,000 to an employee and it's year 4, you can only get a credit of $500, right? Because that's 50% of what you contributed. And then the credit in year 5, if you did another $1,000 to that employee, it'd be $250. And then after year 5, this credit kind of phases out. So these are the 3 changes, impacting small businesses. I think they're all great, especially the last 2. And you should, if you don't have a retirement account set up with your small business, you should definitely get one set up. And I think these changes really should incentivize you to kind of get something set up. So if you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments